So welcome to TT Podcast. Today we are having a discussion about the EPL games coming up this weekend. And if you want to bet on the EPL games, it's mybet.africa. That is where you need to place your bet. This November, they are telling us that any games you pick from their platform, if it's the EPL, if it's the La Liga, if it's the Serie A, if it's the French League, if it's the Bundesliga, lose on any of your tickets. If you get to win, you take your money. But if you get to lose, mybet.africa want to reward you with a 10% free bet, so that during the weekdays on the Champions League, on the Europa, on the Conference League, you can also use that money to also bet on those games. So all you need to do is make a selection of 2.0 odds and above and bet 50 Ghana cedis on their platform and stand a chance. If you get to lose, you stand a chance to get a free bet and also bet on the subsequent games coming up. Go onto the description, click the link and register and use the code TTPod to get a free 10 Ghana cedis to start your betting journey with mybet.africa. You can also scan the QR code available on the screen and go onto their platform and register and use TTPod as your free bet and start your betting journey with the #1 betting platform in the country. Today, we are going into the EPL. We are back into the business side of the league. What I'm saying the business side is we are going to get an international break again in March. So from now to March, if your form goes off, you are dead. If you're on top form, you are likely to win the Premier League. We are going to look at Nottingham Forest against Liverpool, Arsenal against Tottenham Spurs, Chelsea, Burnley, early kickoff, and Man United, Everton. These 4 games are highlights. Then we'll go into other games where we can give you betting options, betting tips for you to also bet on mybet.africa and win with our options. Last time on the EPL, Ralph gave us a correct prediction on Man United against Tottenham. He told us that game will end in a 2-2 draw. And if you watch that show and you place your bet on mybet.africa on a correct score option, it was 23 odds. So with 10 Ghana cedis, you would have won 230 Ghana cedis out of Ralph's correct prediction. So watch the show to the end. Get correct predictions as my pundit will give you so that you'll be able to win amazing with mybet.africa. Welcome, Ralph. Welcome, Prince, to today's EPL preview.
Thank you.
Yes, I want us to start from the Chelsea-Burnley game. Most Chelsea fans are saying this is one game they are afraid of. They are not scared of the Chelsea-Barcelona. They are not scared of the Chelsea-Arsenal coming up. But the Burnley game is one game they are afraid of because they find it very difficult to play against these lower teams, these teams which are not on top form. But anytime they are meeting teams on top form, they come up with a strategy to beat them. So Burnley has only lost more Premier League home games against Liverpool. That is 9. They have against Chelsea. So they have lost just 8 games against Chelsea. The record with a team holding against Burnley at home is Liverpool. Chelsea going into this game, they are going into this game with one of the teams that goes on 9 away games. Out of the 9, 8, they've been able to score over 2.5. I want us to go into this game. Raf, let's look at Enzo Maresca. As Chelsea fans are saying, when they meet smaller teams, they see it as a big tax for them. Do you think this Burnley game will be a big tax for Enzo Maresca and also his Chelsea boys?
Ben, thank you so much. Please, Chelsea's playing home, right?
No, Burnley's playing home against Chelsea.
100%. Now, using Liverpool played against Burnley at the Turf Moor. Liverpool were able to just score at the dying minute. And somebody who said Liverpool is not playing so well. So it is understandable on that aspect. Now, Chelsea, of course, Chelsea is playing better than Liverpool this season. And then looking at how Chelsea is set up. As we said earlier, they find it difficult when they play against the mid-table teams or teams that are a bit aggressive and are very defensively solid. Which clearly an example is against Sunderland. We saw how they were able to play. Now, when Burnley played against even Arsenal, they created some good chances. When Burnley played against some of the big teams, they created a lot of chances. And one thing about the teams is that when you meet an opponent and even you beat them and they are able to create chances, it's a good sign that that team is making progress. Okay? And defensively too, they are a very, very good team defensively. Burnley is noted for their defensive solidity. That is one thing we know. That is one thing we know Burnley for. And whoever talks about Burnley, the next manager who comes in mind is Sean Dykes. But it's very unfortunate Sean Dykes is no more at Burnley. But then the Chelsea team has quality. The Chelsea team has quality. Currently, this Estevao is flying high. When I watched on your WhatsApp page where he was given a penalty duty to take, that was also to build his confidence as a player because with all the quality players in his team, the Vinny Jr., the big boys, he was given that duty to take the penalty, and it was an excellent take. They are preparing the ball. Now, Brazil have players that every year they 10 players into the European market who they feel like this player would take Euro by storm. We saw how the Neymar came, the Drinos, the Robinhos. I think the next player they are working on in terms of PR, in terms of the quality of play, is Estevao. And it's an enviable fit I envy Chelsea for getting that lad. Fantastic player, left-footed, he can cut in. So one thing that Chelsea can do in that game that can get them the win is that maybe they might not start Estevao, but when Estevao and Gittins come on, that is Maresca's secret weapon. When he was playing against Liverpool, when the game was stretched, he introduced Gittins and Estevao, and then they stretched the Liverpool fullbacks, and they were constantly putting pressure, and they were able to get a winner. So if Maresca wants to beat that game, Burnley at their home ground, they are going to go all out. They are going to fight with everything because they are playing Chelsea, and a win for them against Chelsea will build their confidence extremely very, very high. They are going to defend very solid and attack. It's a hard work for them. But if they're able to get their things well, but one, as I'm saying, the secret for Chelsea is Estevao and Gittins. Gittins, the confidence Estevao is having now is very, very high now. As to if Maresca can start him, is good. But as we go on, I'll talk about the prediction later. But it's going to be a very difficult game for both teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Prince, let's look at this game. Do you think Maresca will be thinking about the Barcelona game on Tuesday that may affect Chelsea playing their best players against Burnley?
Yeah, I actually had that in mind to say that on the midweek, I think that game against Barcelona is going to somehow affect Maresca going into the Burnley game. Because I think he did a similar thing when you guys were going to play against Bayern Munich or something. He rested some of these players in a Premier League game, and I don't know if he drew or he lost. And the fans were not happy with the fact that early kickoff, it's also another dangerous thing. This Burnley team are very stubborn, very, very stubborn, especially when they're playing home. They have a way to defend so well that then they hit you on the counter-attack. I think they tried a similar thing against Liverpool. It didn't work. And unfortunately, Liverpool got a penalty at that end of the game. And I think Salah converted that penalty and Liverpool to get 3 points. So that Burnley game against Chelsea is going to be a test for Maresca going into the game. He's going to play against Barcelona at the Stamford Bridge. So let's just see how Maresca will set up his team against Burnley.
Okay, so let's look at the Monday fixture. That is Man United against Everton. Man United in 5 games having tasted defeats. The first time under Ruben Amorim. Everton are on top form. They go into games preparing, but their difficult games mostly are on away. They don't go to away to pick enough points as they pick at home. This game is at the Old Trafford. The last time Everton on 2 occasions, they lost 4-0 and 2-0 to Man United. Raf, do you think Amorim has put things in place? There are rumors going on that he has switched formation. Off the ball, they are playing with a 4-4-2. And on the board, they are going with a 3-4-2-1. Do you believe that the change of formation has helped Man United to have 5 games on a row without a defeat? And how should they go into this Everton game?
Yes, Ben, 100%. Because if you look at Amorim and his setup, of course, you can see the quality players he has in there. Yeah. Unfortunately, Casemiro has not been able to pick up until recently that he's getting things together. When Casemiro came, he was doing so well, but his form dipped. But Amorim has revived his performance as a player, and we've seen Amorim at Sporting Lisbon and what he can do as a manager. So with the confidence that the board and the management have given Amorim, that it's given, no matter how the team performance looks like, they have given him that time. It has lowered the pressure on him for him to set up his team he wanted. And then the boys now are really ready to go due to the World Cup. Teams have now seen their fate. We have qualified. I have to make sure that I can play very well to get a starting place in my team. Then it's a very short period. And a player can pop up and your position will be at risk. A young player can pop up and no matter the big name, the Europeans, unlike with the Africans whereby we are stuck with one person. For the Europeans, if you're not playing well, they change you for another person to come in and play. So every player wants to give 100%. The last game Brazil played, you can see Casemiro in there. So I believe with Ruben Amorim, these guys are getting things together. Everton is also playing well with David Moyes. The Betos and all are also getting things. But I feel at Old Trafford, Man United get something out of the game. But it's going to be a very difficult one for them due to how defensively solid Everton is playing. They are going to get something, but it's going to be a very difficult one for them.
Okay. So, Prince, let's look at from the Everton side. Their last 2 away games have been in a draw and a defeat. 1-1 to Sunderland and also a 2-0 loss to Manchester City. They went to the Manchester side and they lost by 2-0. Do you think the way they are playing their away games, it will be difficult for David Moyes? And how do you think they can explore this Man United team and get the best, maybe a draw or maybe a win from this game?
I think kudos to David Moyes. He came into the Everton setup and he was doing well. Initially, he was doing well. I think he won some few games in the initial stage, just like any other new coach. When new coaches come into a team, they try to prove their worth in the early games, and he did a similar thing in there. But some of these big games are a big test for you to pull out of, because these are guys who can spend much more than you in the transfer market, who can go all out to go and get the best players in the markets. And United is one of them. United spent quite an appreciable amount of money in this transfer window, and it is working for them. It is working for their coach, Ruben Amorim. So going into this game against United, honestly, Everton might not stand a chance. I'm not trying to write them off, but looking at the setup of Ruben Amorim, the only thing that might be an advantage for Everton is to be the international break. Coming back from the international break, some of these players are going to fly from the Southern America and all those things, get feeling tired and all that, and might not be fit to start the game. Probably might come in the second half. That might be the only advantage for Everton. But with that, I don't think Everton stands a chance playing against United, especially at Old Trafford, because Amorim in his past few games has been doing the right things, and it's working out for him. So I don't think he will make any mistake going into this game, especially playing from home. He will do everything right to pick up the 3 points, and I don't see Everton stand a chance in there.
Okay, you saying you don't see Everton standing a chance? Let's look at Newcastle against Manchester City. Before we go to the Newcastle-Manchester City, don't forget, mybet.africa is telling us that with their spin-to-win offer, you can just spin within a short period. You can make enough money for yourself. You don't need to wait 90 minutes to be able to get your money or cash out. Just a minute or two. You just need to select any of their spin-to-wins. They have numbers in ranges that is from 1 to 12, from 13 to 24, and from 24 to 36. You can pick any of these numbers, or go with the colors red or black or green, or go with an odd or even, or pick any number. At the end of a spin, you can make amazing money with mybet.africa. And in November, what they are giving us is, if you win any of their spin to win, you have your money to go with. But if you get to lose, they are looking at rewarding you with 10% of your losses, so that at least you can get money to also stake other spin to win games that will be going on. So go onto the description, click the link and register and be part of the mybet.africa family. On the screen, you see the QR code, scan the QR code and also register and be part of the mybet.africa family. You watching from this show, you can use TT Pod to get a free 10 Ghana cedis and enjoy their spin to win offers they are giving us. Ralph, let's look at Newcastle against Manchester City. Manchester City has been the team like under the radar. They've been 4 games in a row. They are winning, but most of the big clubs are not looking at them. The Arsenals, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, they are not looking at Manchester City, but they are grinding results week in, week out. This game against Newcastle, last season, this fixture ended in a 1-1 at St. James Park. Do you think this is a big test for Pep Guardiola to know if his team is well prepared to go on and maybe win the Premier League or win a major trophy this season?
Ben, I'll start by talking about Liverpool, Manchester City. Manchester City, Liverpool. Look, in so many years, this is one of the weakest Guardiola teams I've seen. When I say the weakest, with all due respect to the players, like the quality of players in the setup, this is one of the easiest that teams could be able to pick up and then maybe go through it easily. The Nico Reilly's, the Oscar Bobs, they are not Nico Pace. These are not big boys as compared to the De Bruyne's. City is winning, but you can feel like the quality, the real quality, like compared to when he had the De Bruyne, the Bernardo Silva's, the Riyad Mahrez, Charlie, the quality was about. With this current City team, they are lacking something. That is that experience, that power, that fighting spirit. They are lacking it. Liverpool couldn't show it when they played against them. Before they played against Liverpool, I made my earlier submission that Liverpool would just have to stop Erling Haaland and the City's goals are dried up. We couldn't even handle him so well. But with Newcastle, they are going to defend very well. Ben, that game will end in a draw. That game will end in a draw. I see Newcastle fighting so hard against Manchester City. Currently, Erling Haaland is flying so high. He's happy. That World Cup qualification, he's still in that celebratory mode. He's still in that victorious mode. So he's flying high, but maybe next week is when Haaland will set it proper. And I feel Newcastle will give them a tougher game than what Liverpool did. So that game, I don't see Manchester City winning that game. I don't see Manchester City winning that game. The likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton, and Tonali are going to strike and fight so hard, and Newcastle will get something out of that game.
Okay, Prince, let's look at the Newcastle side. In their last 6 games, they've been wins at St. James Park. The only team to defeat Newcastle at St. James Park was Arsenal by a 2-1. And do you think the quality Newcastle are trying to build at home, can this Manchester City team get closer to them? And how should Eddie Howe set up his team to be able to get the best and beat Manchester City in this game?
I think Eddie Howe will have to deploy a strategy, because one thing about this games coming back from international break is with the travels, especially with the players who are coming from Southern America. So they have a long flight coming into Europe. And when you look at the Newcastle midfield, they have Joe Linton, who's a Brazilian, and Bruno Guimaraes, who's a Brazilian. And all these guys are going to fly in from South America, sometimes having like over 11 hours flight. Most of the times, when you look at Enzo Maresca like this, whenever there's an international break like this, he keeps Caicedo on the bench, because this guy flew in far off and he's tired and doesn't want to risk him like that. So I don't know who's going to play in that midfield for Eddie Howe. But if those guys are in and they're able to train and they start in that midfield, I really don't see City taking a 3 point. It might be a draw in there, because Eddie Howe has this wonderful guy up front, Nick Votamade. That guy is so good. I watched the game, the Germany game they played, and he scored a goal in there. The guy is just good. There's no much looks or like there's no eyeball on him like that. So he's just there doing his thing. You know, when you come to Europe, the eyeballs are on the likes of Gyökeres, Haaland, and
Florian Wirtz
and all that.
Florian Wirtz.
But he's just there doing his thing, scoring his goal week in, week out. And it's very beautiful to have a striker like that. So that guy might be a threat in a City box. So I don't see City winning this game. I think I'll go with Ralph. City might not win this game.
We are looking at this game ending in a draw, at least for Manchester City. Okay, so let's look at the next game. Next game, Liverpool against Nottingham Forest at Anfield. Last season, this fixture ended in a 1-0 Callum Hudson-Odoi goal. That was Liverpool's first defeat of the season. And after that, they went on a good run. Ralph, looking at this game as a Liverpool fan, your season have been on and off. Against Real Madrid, everybody thought Liverpool were back. You even said on the show that you were back. The Liverpool bed is up. We saw against Aston Villa something similar. Liverpool went in with a clean sheet, not conceding. But against Manchester City, everything went back to factory settings. Do you think, as of now, would you say Liverpool are back? And against a tougher opponent in Nottingham Forest, can Liverpool still keep a clean sheet in this game?
Ben, it is not easy. Because right now, I don't know.
You don't know which Liverpool team you are expecting.
I'm telling you, if we are still at the old place, I don't know. Ben, I'll gather him and say we are back. I'll gather him.
Okay. So we should
I'll gather him and
expect
say
some
yes,
firepower from Liverpool.
yes, because can't afford like this. Ancelot's contract has been put on hold. They said they should hold the contract. We wanted to give him 2 years, but we said no. Ancelot, hold on. We want to check you very well. Why is it that when Florian Wirtz goes to Germany, Wirtz is playing well? When Wirtz comes to Liverpool, Wirtz cannot play the ball. Why?
Maybe you guys should
wait.
Please. No, I'm just
maybe the pressure is too much from the media and a whole lot of things.
In there. What you guys
Ben, you know what?
You guys should wear him. You guys should wear him a Germany jersey.
A Germany jersey.
They put a Liverpool jersey on.
Okay. Man,
Ralph, what do you think? What do you think is wrong now? Is it the Ancelot, or you think the players are not putting in their best?
Man, you see, one thing that I've been saying every time is that as a coach, when Liverpool signed Ancelot, and it was clearly stated that he's a coach and not a manager, which means there's a difference between a manager and a coach. He's a coach. Yeah. Therefore, as a coach, the player's development is also your sole responsibility to develop that player to become a better one. So when you bring in a player and the player is not developing well, we have to hold you responsible. What are your training methods? How are you setting up the team and the training ground? Who are your backroom staff? How are they feeding you with information? The technology, which is now into football, is so advanced and vast to the point that you don't have an excuse. Ben, you don't have an excuse. And Ekitike is playing well. Isak, for some reasons, we have some reasons to why he's not performing well. But Florian Wirtz, which exact position is he going to play him to make him flourish? Because the pressure is on him 007, 008. The pressure is mounting on the guy. And he's a star boy for the German national. We don't want a situation where he'll go to the World Cup and Ben, against Nottingham Forest, Liverpool is going to line up very well. And one thing that was keeping the boys to be very, very cautious was the World Cup qualification. Germany has qualified, Netherlands has qualified, Scotland has qualified, France has qualified. Most of the teams have qualified. The remaining ones are just the playoffs and all those things, which are not yet. Now, they are going to go all out with the World Cup in their mind. They are going to go all out. Our Liverpool players are coming back from international duty as usual. Nottingham Forest, from when our next 5 games, Liverpool are not going to play any big match like that. And against the City, one thing that I've also noticed is that stamina-wise and fitness-wise, our boys are not there. After 70 minutes, but when we played against Chelsea, we lost with 80 minutes plus 80th minute going, we conceded. Against Newcastle. Exactly. The timing, it means that our boys are not able to sustain that pressure, or the fitness level doesn't last up to 90 minutes as compared to our previous managers. That is one thing I'm supposed to study and note. So therefore, if there's enough fitness, he has to go through with the boys. He has to do that. But against Nottingham Forest, means I'm coming. Against Nottingham Forest, but we are going to win that game. That one day we have to win that game. We must win that game.
Okay, so viewers should know that you are promising them Liverpool are going to pick 3 points against Nottingham Forest.
100%.
Okay. Prince, let's look at the Nottingham Forest setup. The Nottingham Forest setup, in their last 5 games, 2 wins, a loss against Bournemouth away, and they've been 2 draws, 1 against Man United and the Europa League game. Sean Dykes, in 5 games, he has been able to get 2 wins, 2 draws, and just 1 defeat. Going to Anfield, do you think they are well motivated with last season's 1-0 win? They are motivated to repeat that again. And now Liverpool being a wounded side, is the best time for Sean Dykes to play them.
Yeah, I think just like you said, this is the best time for them to play Liverpool. I personally wish us now we'll be playing Liverpool by this time, around this time, because this is the best time we can get Liverpool. You know, those times they were winning last minute goals, last minute taking last minute wins and all that. But Nottingham Forest going into this game should decide their mind. They're going to win this game. They should they should have a playback of last season's game they played against Liverpool in their minds. They should have it in view that we can do it. We've done it before. We did it last year. So this is a team that if things go well, if we put our things well, if we plan so well, we can win this game. And one thing they should also consider is the fact that they should build a Crystal Palace spirit in them. They should go in there with the Crystal Palace mindset.
Biggest game of the weekend, Arsenal against Tottenham Spurs. And last season, this fixture, Arsenal did the double over Tottenham. A 2-1 win at the Emirates and also 1-0 at Tottenham Spurs Stadium.
Yeah.
This week, Arsenal are hosting Tottenham Spurs at the Emirates. Raf, looking at Thomas Frank's setup, their last game they played against Man United, we've been seeing players walking by him, players putting up attitude. I asked you about if you think he has lost the dressing room the other time, and you said that no, you think he hasn't lost it. How should Thomas Frank set up his team? Because as of now, he's the only team in the Premier League with 4 strikers, but still they are not getting enough goals. How should he set up his team? How should he be defensively solid? Because they are good on away games, but very poor on home games. So going into this game, maybe it's a morale booster there. They are going an away game against Arsenal. How should Thomas Frank put up his team to be able to get at least a draw or a win against Arsenal?
London derby, proper London derby.
Yeah.
This is actually a not London derby.
Not London derby. Yeah, not London derby. Proper not London derby.
Yeah.
The bragging right is there for the taking.
I tell you.
The bragging right is there for the taking. And this match, if there's anything that should motivate both teams, their fans, they are bragging right, you know. And Thomas Frank, as per the question he asked me, how should he set up? But there are a lot of lapses in the Tottenham team. They are not solid enough for me if I should compare with Arsenal. Okay. Arsenal has a solid team from goalkeeper to attack, and I don't see them playing extremely well. As you said earlier, moments are important. They can pick their moment. And against Arsenal's last game, where they drew against Sunderland. When it's Sunderland?
Yes, Sunderland.
It's proved the point that if you work extra, when you're playing against Arsenal, you have to be very fit as a team. And you have to be very, very fit. But when you want to open up and play that possessive style of football, they'll pick you by surprise. The likes of Trossard, Martinelli, and the guys will take you on by surprise.
Yeah.
They should stay very solid defensively. The likes of Kudus Mohamed and Co will come into the action. Kudus Mohamed, anytime he plays against a big team, bear in mind that it's a justified inclusion for him. As a Ghanaian, we want to see him at the top level. We want to see him playing for the Chelseas, the Arsenals, and the other teams. Tottenham is a big team, but not a big team as compared to Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. He should know that this is a justified inclusion for. So, player for player, Arsenal will edge them. Arsenal has the quality over Tottenham Hotspur when it comes to player for player. Yes, 1v1. Arsenal will edge them. But in that game, Thomas Frank will try his best. But I still see Arsenal picking the 3 points. Since they are not going to stay solid, they are going to open up the game and try to match Arsenal boot for boot. I see Arsenal picking the 3 points.
Okay, so Prince, looking at this Arsenal setup, the last time Arsenal considered the goal was on the 23rd of September. That was against Newcastle. Arsenal went on a lot of game runs till they met Sunderland, and they considered 2 goals. Do you think Tottenham Spurs can score against Arsenal? And how should Arteta set up his team to be able to stop the likes of Mohamed Kudus, the likes of Richarlison, and also maybe the rest of the Tottenham Spurs squad?
Okay, so this game is going to be a tricky game. On paper, Arsenal has the upper hand and all that, but this game is going to be a tricky game. Especially one guy I fear from the Tottenham setup is that Van de Ven guy, because they are also good at set piece. They are very good at set pieces a lot, and that guy is very good. I really wish this is a game I wish Gabriel will be fit for. If he's to play this game and after that go injured, I'm okay, honestly, because last season he won the man of the match for the 2 London derbies.
Yes, he scored goals in those 2 games.
He scored goals in all the 2, and he also won the man of the match for all the 2 games. So I really wish he was in this game, honestly, because he has that kind of rivalry with Richarlison whenever they meet in this game, because Richarlison usually like to bully us in our home or whenever we go there. So whenever we meet them like this, there's this thing he does with Richarlison where even transfer to even social media where they can sometimes they have this back and forth. Yeah, honestly, I really wish I had Gabba in this game, because these guys are really like to bully us. And whenever we meet like this, we are even fortunate we are playing it at Emirates. We have an advantage over there. So this game, going into this game, I think Arteta, as he always does, I'm sure you psych either Mosquera or Nkapi up. So I was looking at a lineup where we had Lewis Kelly play left back and Ricardo Canfil play with Saliba as both centre backs, 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Because at Bologna, when he was there, he was playing as a centre back. Even sometimes in the Italian national team, he plays as centre back and left centre back. So I don't know how Arteta is going to put the back line in a good shape, so we might not have to even consider shot on target in there. But I'm sure, knowing Arteta might start Mikel Merino or something, they just will be holding the back line, because since Gabriel is not around. So I'm sure you might start Mikel Merino in there just to hold the back line. I'm seeing Gokres coming in to help us in attack, because whenever Gokres is playing, at least he puts much pressure on this Romero and this Van de Ven guy, so they can move forward like that. Van de Ven is a threat. That guy has space, that guy has agility, he has strength and all that. So we just need to start Gokres to put those guys at far from the center line.
Okay, so you saying you just need to put in a lot of pressure so that Arsenal can at least pick that 3 points they are looking out for.
Oh, yeah.
We've gotten to the part of the show where we give you predictions. So right now, go onto the description, click the link and register and be part of the mybet.africa family. The registration process is very simple. When you click the link, the first thing that pops up would ask of your phone number. You enter your phone number. Then you move on to the next one where it asks of your username. You put any nickname, any name you want to put on there. Then the next one asks of your password. Password and confirm password. You put the password you want and you put the same thing at the confirm password. Click on the register. You get the verification code, verify your account. And now with our predictions you are going to give, write them down and stake on mybet.africa and you can win. So let's go. I'll just mention the game, then we'll give us our prediction scoreline on it. So let's look at Burnley against Chelsea. Raf, what do you think the scoreline will be?
Ben, I see Chelsea winning that game by 2-1.
2-1. Prince, Burnley, Chelsea, what will be the scoreline?
I also see a similar scoreline, 2-1.
2-1 for Chelsea. Okay, let's look at Bournemouth against West Ham. What will be the scoreline?
2-0 Bournemouth.
2-0 Bournemouth. Prince?
A 2-1 win for Bournemouth.
A 2-1 win for Bournemouth. Brighton against Brentford. Brighton are playing home against Brentford.
1-1.
1-1.
I also see a draw because that game.
Fulham against Sunderland.
Sunderland is playing home, eh?
No, Fulham are playing home.
2-1 Sunderland.
2-1 Sunderland. Okay.
Fulham 1, Sunderland 2.
I'll go a 2-1 win for Fulham.
Okay, 2-1 win for Fulham. This is the only time we are getting different score lines. Liverpool against Nottingham.
Liverpool 3, Nottingham 0.
Praise.
Ben, I can't use my left hand to point my father's house. To point at my father's house.
I see a 1-1 or 2-2 draw in there.
Okay, Crystal Palace against Wolves against Crystal Palace.
Ben, Palace 2, Wolves 1.
Palace 2, Wolves 1. Prince.
I don't think it will even get going there because Palace will win that game. Maybe a 2-0 or a 3-win. A 3-0. Yeah.
Okay. Newcastle against Manchester City.
Yeah, that's a tough game.
1-1.
1-1.
A 2-1 win for Newcastle.
The Prince, yeah. Leeds against Aston Villa.
Wow.
Leeds are playing home, eh?
Yeah,
Yes.
Leeds are playing against Aston Villa.
Ben, 2-2.
2-2 for 2-2 draw. Prince.
I think Aston Villa win that game 2-1.
2-1. Okay. Arsenal against Tottenham Spurs.
Ben, the analysis and the predictions, they are different too.
Yes, we want that.
The scoreline is different. Tottenham to Arsenal 1.
Tottenham to Arsenal 1. I mean, when you go to Liverpool, Prince also said Nottingham Forest 2. Prince, Arsenal against Tottenham.
It will be a 2-0 win for Arsenal.
2-0 win for Arsenal. And the last game happening on Monday, Man United against Everton.
2-1 Man United.
2-1 Man United.
I see a 2-0 win for Man United.
Okay, a 2-0 win for Man United. This is our EPL prediction. All you need to do is go into the description, click the link, register with mybet.africa, and also stand a chance to also bet using their mybet.africa website. It's one of the greatest websites you need to visit. So go into the description now or scan the QR code and you'll be able to register and be part of the family. Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Raf, for joining us on this EPL preview. We analyzing each game. You get to understand what to expect in the game. And we ended with we giving you our predictions on the scoreline. You can look at the scoreline, look at the number of goals they mentioned, and out of that, you can get at least a 50, 60 odds from just this prediction, and you can win amazing with mybet.africa. Thank you all for joining the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.